All right, guys, welcome to Manly Tasks, episode 1. Today we're going to be cleaning my golf clubs. This is video number 1 of this series. So we wanted to start off with something simple. So I'm going to fill this bucket with some soapy water and we'll get started, all right? All right, so I got my bucket of water. I'm gonna place this towel down. That way I don't make a mess in my home gym. All right. Okay, so first we're gonna be using one of my golf tees to kind of just clean out the grooves in my golf clubs. Need something really fine point to kind of get in there. I'm actually going to grab a pocket knife and I'm going to kind of sharpen this tee a little bit so that way I can really get into those grooves. So you might be thinking, why is he starting a YouTube channel? And honestly, I don't have a great answer for you. Honestly, I made a few videos and I figured out that I really just like editing the videos. I don't think I'm much of a making the videos type of person, but I do really enjoy actually editing them. I think it's fun. And I'm kind of addicted to seeing how many people actually watch the video, how many people like it, comment on it, stuff like that. It's probably not the most healthy mindset to have when making these videos, but it's honestly just a nice little hobby. So we'll kind of just go with that. All right. So like I said, first we're going to clean out these grooves. And we're just going to get to it. I haven't really been golfing much lately, so I have been neglecting these clubs, unfortunately. It's something I definitely want to get back into doing, playing golf. But, you know, ever since I moved away from Houston, you know, my dad was kind of my golfing partner, and I loved playing golf with my dad and my brother and everything. And ever since I moved to Dallas, I haven't really been able to play with them, and honestly it kind of just takes a lot of the fun out of it, not being able to play with my dad. He's definitely the guy who kind of got me into golfing. And not being able to play with him lately has just really kind of taken the fun out of it. All right, so that is groove number 1. We'll go ahead and go on to the next club, okay? Some of these look a lot worse than others. You know, that one that I just cleaned, I was actually practicing in the yard the other day and I got mud all over it. And I just never took the time to actually clean it. This one really doesn't look all that bad, but I'm still just gonna go in, clean these grooves, because even just the slightest bit of dirt in these grooves can really affect the amount of spin that you get whenever you're making these golf shots. So it's always good to take care of your golf clubs, because if you don't, they end up like this. And that's when you have problems. You don't get consistent results. I'm not the best golfer, if we're being honest here. Let's switch my hat backwards so that way you can actually see my face whenever I'm doing this. Probably look better on the video. Yeah, I usually shoot probably in the low 100s whenever I golf. I've only broken 100 a few times before. Definitely need to take lessons. I used to take lessons whenever I lived in Houston. And then once I moved to Dallas, I stopped taking those lessons, unfortunately. My father-in-law, he lives next to a golf course, and they actually have a really cheap lessons. You know, I think you can get like 3 lessons for about, I think I want to say about $200, which honestly, that is quite a steal considering how expensive some golf lessons are. All right, so those are my 3 irons. I am now moving on to my wedges. The wedges is where it really matters that you clean these grooves out because whenever you're getting closer to that green and you really want that backspin to really get the ball to stop, so that way your ball isn't flying off the back of the green. So this is where it's really important to clean these golf clubs. Those first 3 irons that I cleaned, it's important, but you know, it's probably not going to be the end of the world if those aren't the cleanest. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this tee a little bit. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be the worst, especially when you're not as good as a golfer like me. You know, really just getting it on the green is really all that matters to help kind of lower your score. But if you're going off the back of the green every single hole, it's really going to add to how many shots you're taking every round. All right, that's pretty sharp. I think we'll be able to finish the last 3 wedges with this tee. Anyways, so I'm starting this YouTube channel. I've learned that I really like making these videos. I like editing them. Like I said earlier, I like watching people interact with them. Honestly, you know, people watching my videos doesn't embarrass me. What really embarrasses me is actually making the videos. You know, I'm in my garage right now. I have the garage door open, so my neighbors are able to see me. And no one's outside right now, so I'm not super embarrassed, but I definitely chose a time where everyone is kind of at work, so that way no one's walking by and watching me video myself. You know, the other day I was filming myself working out, and I got a delivery from a UPS driver, and I just had to sit there and watch him kind of silently judge me as I was filming myself doing these workouts. And I was pretty embarrassed with that. But yeah, so, you know, my problem is I like making all these videos, and I usually make really funny videos, you know, something to either make me laugh or make my coworkers laugh, or even something to kind of make them make it a little cringy, you know, because, you know, when people feel awkward, that makes me laugh too. But the problem is that I always just run out of ideas with these videos. And so I make a few, and then I just don't make any more. I don't want to be that type of content creator where I'm kind of just, you know, doing some trendy video idea. I want to, you know, kind of have original thoughts and original videos. I don't want people to, you know, be on TikTok or Instagram, wherever you're watching these videos, and, you know, you see 5 other people do the exact same video before I have a chance to do it. So that's kind of my thought process behind this. So you know, kind of back to what I was saying. Next, we're going to actually scrub the golf clubs. So I have this handy dandy brush right here. I got my soapy water, and now we're actually going to scrub the clubs down, okay? So like I was saying before, making this series of videos where I'm kind of just doing random tasks around my house, because it allows me to not really run out of ideas, you know. With doing the whole comedy bit, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I did this one funny thing. Now I have to make the next video even funnier. And that's where it starts getting difficult, is always trying to make the next video funnier. And that's where I just kind of struggle with. So with this style of videos, where I'm more just doing stuff around the house, it allows me to not really run out of ideas. So I've already created a list of different video ideas. And I think I've already got like 20 to 30 different video ideas. And that's just gonna allow me to be able to just do these videos for a really long time without having too much trouble. All right, so our first club is done. And as you can see, this looks a lot better, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and put this back in the bag. On to the next one. And, you know, I don't think too many people are excited for these videos. But, you know, I think there's an audience for everything. And even if my family or my friends don't really care about this type of content, I know some people are going to enjoy watching these, you know, kind of before and after videos. And so my goal is I want to post two different types of videos. I'm going to post a kind of a short version, try to make it under 60 seconds on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. And then I'm going to be posting a longer version on just the actual YouTube videos, you know. And so if people only want to watch the short version, they can do that. Or if they like watching these vlogs where they're, you know, 30, 40, 60 minutes long, then they can tune in and watch those videos with me. All right, that's 2 clubs down. On to the third one. And I'm basically just gonna be doing, you know, little things like this, like cleaning my clubs, stuff that I do every day. Cleaning my clubs, mowing the lawn, cooking for, you know, a house party, stuff like that, you know. I'm going to Vietnam in about a month, and, you know, I'm sure I'll take some videos and pictures there, and I'll make a whole video of it. So you'll get to kind of be there with me in Vietnam. All right, these are looking pretty good. These clubs haven't looked this good in a really long time. This club was kind of scratched a little bit. I kind of broke this club a little bit. You can kind of see, there's that black line right there. You know, that's a crack in my wedge there. So, a little weird. I don't know how that occurred. Probably threw the club or something. Out of frustration. And I'm sure some of y'all have seen my tiny little bag here. This is a Sunday golf bag. I learned that, you know, with me not being the best golfer, I tend to use the same clubs over and over again. The same, you know, 5 or 6 clubs, because those are just the ones that I'm really comfortable with. Those are the ones that I'm more consistent with. Those clubs tend to be my 52-degree wedge, my 9-iron, my 7-iron, my 4 hybrid, and my driver. To be honest, I'm not very good with the driver, but something I just like to keep in the bag. Usually, I just kind of tee off with my 4 hybrid, and that tends to go a lot straighter and about the same distance as my driver, just because whenever I use my driver, who knows where it's going to go. Certainly not me. I definitely don't know. Oh yeah, that is looking good. But I like having the Sunday bag because it only fits about 5 or 6 clubs in it. And so if I decide I want to walk the course, it's a lot lighter, and it makes it a lot easier to walk that course. You know, carrying 5 or 6 clubs is a lot easier than carrying 14. And I tend to overstuff my golf bag. I have the 14 clubs, and I usually bring a lot of golf balls because I'm not the best golfer. So with this smaller bag, it allows me to put in all those golf balls, and it doesn't really affect the weight too much. Yeah, some of these clubs are a little scratched up. I've had them for a few years now, but man, that looks great. All right, so on to the last iron, and this is definitely the worst one. It's definitely the most muddy. So our biggest transformation is definitely going to be with this club. So I'm really excited about this one. This will really show you how clean these clubs were able to get. Yeah, this is definitely something you want to do more often than not. You should be cleaning your clubs after every round. Really, after every shot, you should be wiping your clubs down. I know there's a few different products out there that has the groove cleaner and the brush, and I think you're able to put like soapy water in it. So that way, after every shot, you're able to scrub down your clubs. It's not something I have, and I'm definitely kind of a faster golfer. I tend to kind of just like hit my shot and just go on to the next one. So I don't really waste a lot of time cleaning my clubs like I should be. But all right, that is it. And this is the final product of my clean golf clubs. Thanks for tuning in. This was mainly tasks in 60 seconds. I know on my YouTube videos, it's going to be a lot longer than 60 seconds. Goal is to always try to keep it under 60 minutes at least. So, this was a very short video. I'm going to have a lot of short videos, but there's a lot of times where I'm going to have a lot of longer videos. And I wanted to, kind of be able to have a goal of keeping it under 60 minutes. So to kind of keep you all engaged. So tune in for next week. I plan on posting 1 video every week, and we'll kind of just see how it goes. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Bye.